So in this little video, we're going to start fixing some of the issues on this car that previous Chris didn't give a rat's ass about what future Chris would want. There's a lot of things that was done before that either A, I've learned a little better, or I just feel like could be better. And other things that I just was lazy. Just got the car going. So what we're going to do is go over some of the things that I'm going to plan on fixing over the next couple of videos and showing some of the nastier parts, well, not some of the nastier parts, but one area that I really don't like. So let's show that real quick and then, yeah, just keep going. So let's show you everything. So some of the things that I feel like I need to resolve very soon, and I plan on doing very soon. One, this isn't something I did, I just recently saw it. I'm not sure what this little resistor, I'm assuming it's a resistor or something. That cable here, it's holding on by like 2 strands of wire. Figure should probably fix that. Next up, this. I shouldn't be using this. And in this video, I do plan on replacing this. And we'll get into that shortly. With that, I also plan on fixing this part. So the wire running to the starter, I don't have nearly as much slack on it as I probably should. And we've got this wire here, maybe you can see it. So I plan on, yeah, we'll get into that, but my plan is to clean that up and maybe see what type of wiggle room I have for this and for this to also redo this thing. I want to do a cold air box here. I've got a few different ideas, but the fact that I have this just kind of crammed in there, these running in here, yay. Also plan on running a catch can off this one. There we go. Actually, let's look at it. With that, proper mounting location for the boost controller, or to get an electronic boost controller. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Another thing that I really need to fix is the fact that I've got my fuel filter just kind of hanging right here. That's stupid. So my plan is to try and clean up everything, have it mounted somewhere over here. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what this area looks like. Let's see if we can get this kind of cleaned up. Now let's discuss what I'll be fixing specifically in this video. So what I plan on fixing in this video is the wiring. I relocated the battery to the trunk quite a while ago. What you saw under the hood was just what I assume is a car audio splitter. I don't think it's really meant for under the hood. What my plan is to use one of these. It's like a little, just a post for you to connect everything up to. I'm going to run the new terminal, or run the battery cable to that. I also bought these so I could then, crimp it onto the terminal. Then also, during that process, I bought it is called a hydraulic crimping tool. Wow, this thing just, I guess it's packed okay, kind of. But yeah, here you go. So my plan is to not put this back correctly. There we go. Anyway. And also there's some heat shrink for under the hood type shit. The plan is to also potentially replace the 2 wires going to this point, so that way I can try and route the cable, the 0 gauge battery cable, somewhere a little less obvious, and then have extra length coming off of that to go to the starter and go to the fuse block or wherever the hell it's going. So with that said, let's get going.
What do they know? Sure, they're here, but are they real? I'm putting on a show. The killer inside wants to reveal the whispering behind my back, trigger the ringing in my ears. What would they say if I decide not to behave? People are funny, but are they real? Abandon all hope for those who enter here. If you don't like me, then stay away. Got a nasty frown, brought it down from yesterday.
So here's where we're currently at. I removed this little, I'm pretty sure it's a resistor, but you can probably tell from there, or maybe, either way, that cable is there. That cable is toast. So I'm probably gonna depin these, push them out, maybe get new connectors and just crimp on just a tiny bit shorter, because I think there's more than enough space here. But here's where else we're at. So, got the new terminal on. You know, I've got a little bit of slack here, so I've got some room. I removed the battery cable, or the starter cable. Where'd it go? Here it went. So apparently when I did this before, I really didn't get enough length, because I didn't really think about the fact that I was going to run it through here, run it with the rest of the harness, and then, you know, connect it up to something. So it was kind of a tight fit. And with that, let's see if I can find it. Either way, I know I'd felt a flat spot on that from it kind of pressing against the starter. But the other thing I'm going to try and consider, so we've got the alternator, there we go, alternator wire right here. That's going to connect up to the junction box. And I might need to lengthen it, so I might have to pull that one out, get a new wire, and then get a new little crimp on it, which isn't stuff that I've done very often, so trying to do it right. And then also, let's see if I can get a look. I think my turbo's in decent shape. Yeah, so there is some kind of like oil, shit like that, but nothing dripped out of the intake. What I found out during this process, when I took it out, yeah, turbo looks good. Or at least I think it does. I don't feel like touching it. So, who cares about shaft play? I'll grenade it. What I showed you earlier. So this little intercooler, whatever, piping kit I bought, I guess I over-tightened it because it broke. So it's good that replacing that is on my to-do list. But anyway, I will, yeah, I'm probably going to have to find where I'm going to actually mount the posts now. So yeah, let's get going.
Put yourself in my shoes. Do you think you feel me the same? Is someone
every now and then things work in your favor. So I found out there were some bolt holes here that actually lined up perfectly with this. This one was holding the bracket you saw me maybe remove earlier. That bracket had like bolt here, and a further bolt back there. And it held like the old charcoal canister, shit like that. Finally removed it, and then noticed there were a couple other holes there that were not being used, but they were threaded. So, yeah, that's my new point of power distribution. So now what I need to do is get a new cable from here, figure out if I'm going to run it the same way up through the harness, then back over, or just kind of have it freewheeling. That I'm not sure. But then with that, as you can tell, this cable is not going to reach that destination. So I'll have to go get a new black cable, I guess, and some form of connector to connect up to here. So yeah, I guess, well, I have no freaking clue how the hell I'm going to get to that, but we'll figure it out. Hooray, let's go. So, this was the wire that ran from the fuse block to the battery. Assume it's just distribution, and then also when the alternator is running, it'll help charge up the battery. I'm assuming this is probably like a 10 gauge, maybe a 12, I don't know. But what I'm replacing it with is this. Bought from your local friendly AutoZone. Blah. It's 8 gauge, 6 feet. Won't use all 6 feet, but I'm not sure how many feet I will use. But yeah, came with connectors, so I figured give this a go. So now let's start working on that.
Those who enter here from wasn't built in just one day. Further down the road, far from yesterday. Far from yesterday.
So here's where we're at. Got the new cable hooked up there. Beforehand, I had it routed over here, and then it draped over here and had some pressure right there. This time, trying to route it off to the side, so then maybe I can just run it to there. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna, the old wire for the starter used to be plumbed into here. So it would go over, go up, if I recall correctly, and then come out and then go out to the starter. Since, you know, I don't have a battery here, or it would go to the battery, sorry. But anyway, so also have the new positive going from the battery to the fuse block here. Am going to tape this part back up probably. Well, I will. But then once I figure out lengths and how much slack I want to have on this, so when I make the cold air box, that will hopefully give me some room to place it somewhere other than just sitting right here and not much other movement. But anyway, got a lot of slack on it. I'll cut it once I figure out the length. With that, let's start figuring out the length.
Such things, personal space. berate me right to my face. I'm not quite as dumb as I look, much advantage of me you took. It's okay. Open up your mouth so I can check for truth. Truth's decay. Come on. There could be no finer liar in the whole state of North Carolina. I gave you my friendship and a piece of my heart. You managed to break the bonds and barriers, so now I have to pull your card.
So, here's where we're currently at. Cables are all, I might wrap these up at least a little bit, not sure yet. But I want some slack so I could mount this. There we go, get actually in the scene. So these things at AutoZone to hold them down, and what they do, let's see if I'll zoom in, you can more or less cram it in a bolt hole. So it may not be like amazingly tight, but yeah, I think it'll hold it pretty well. I've still got to tighten that down, but there's now the junction. If I could actually hold the camera, there we go. So, yeah, these are fucking awesome. Anyway, at least so it seems. Next up, let me just fix that off camera. And if I figure anything out or learn something, well, I'll say it in the next little clip. Well, after quick investigation, I decided I'm going to look up what this damn part is. I don't think it's going to focus. Doesn't help I shake. But anyway, it's part number 90980-04041. So this had already, like, when I was, just when I picked it up, the cable gave loose there. But then I started looking at the top here. Probably not going to see very clear. But anyway, the threads on this, on these wires going to this are crap also. So not only was this wire frayed and toast, both the wires going into this are questionable. Again, not sure what it does. I'm going to go look up the part number. I'm guessing this is a standard Toyota thing because I'm not sure if it came with the engine or not, or if it was just already in my car and it just plugs in. But I'll go do some research, find out what the hell it is, and yeah, go from there. Be right back. Well, after some quick research, what that part number is for is it's some radio condenser. The name didn't really ring a bell, but I did some quick searching, and it turns out what that part is used for is to eliminate like the engine noise or the electrical interference with the radio. So like if you've ever installed a stereo and heard that whining of the engine, more than likely from the alternator, that's, well, if you heard it through the stereo, that's the part on this car that eliminates that. So I'll find one at the junkyard, but that won't stop me from doing what I'm trying to do right now. So let's get everything else reassembled.
Flinstone, yes, too fake for me. Push on like Flinstone, just as fast as you can. Push on like Flinstone, yes, too blind to see. Please stop pretending I don't like you, and you don't like me.
Moment of truth. So far, promising. I mean, it seems like it's a straightforward thing to do, but nothing's ever as straightforward as you hope it is. Let's see if she starts. New battery after the old one was replaced, under warranty, and new wiring. Anything break? So far, no. Okay. very, very good. Can't let it run for too long because I've got no intake on it. Hooray! Small. Well, you probably can't read it. 13.5 volts. I think that's a little up from what I had seen before. But anyway, let's turn this thing off before I suck something into the turbo. And that's it for this little endeavor. I've already got metal on the way to try and make a cold air intake. A proper, well, proper-ish. We'll find out how well I do. Just to give you an idea, what the plan will be is to hopefully have this mounted, well, with a little bit of finagling, hopefully have the room to mount this a little lower and mount it against an enclosure that goes right here, so that way it doesn't just like hang off to the side or some shit. So anyway, yeah, no light, so you can't really see shit. But yeah, I'm also gonna have to clean that up. Wouldn't surprise me if I blow by. I don't have a catch can, so whatever. Anyway, and that'll be another thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Next video, cold air intake. If you found it even remotely entertaining, consider liking, subscribing. You know, the same thing you hear on every other channel. Have fun. Bye-bye.